Hey, it's the Fort Worth Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
Welcome to our podcast where we discuss pickup, game, relationships, and...
Sex.
And today we're going to talk... I always say we're talking about a controversial. And this is one of those things that I put out on Twitter.
Yeah.
And guys get all worked up.
People get so bent out of shape over this.
Bent.
And it's...
And what do you think it... You think it was like something controversial.
Yeah.
But it's using lines or canned lines that you've used before. Nobody has an original conversation.
No one has original conversations or original thoughts.
And I wonder sometimes about these guys that are like, you don't need lines, you just talk during that. When you talk to a lot of women, which if you're listening to this, you're probably going to, if you haven't already, or you're not doing it now, you will in the near future.
Yeah.
Because there will be more women wanting to talk to you.
Yes.
That's the most important thing.
Exactly. So you have to have some lines. You're going to automatically just find yourself saying the same things.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
It's half the fun. Game is learned charisma.
Yeah.
And part of charisma is having snappy, fun comebacks. Because girls, when they give you a shit test, and not all of these are shit tests. A lot of this is teasing.
Yeah.
And responses, to shit tests that you just have in your head. Because you're going to hear the same stuff like, are you a player? Do you talk to all the girls like this? You're going to hear a lot of the same stuff from women over time. So it's best to have lines already that have been tested. And you can just spew them, and they go, ha, 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 and then they forget that they even asked you.
Well, and the topic of this is lines that work.
Lines that
you
work.
Don't think that shouldn't.
Yeah,
or that
lines
you don't.
that work that shouldn't. Because for guys, a lot of guys that are very logical, they're like, that's stupid.
It is stupid.
And girls, you got to remember, all girls are 14.
Yeah.
I don't care if she's 16, 26, 56. All girls are about 14 years old, and you can mess with them mentally with lines.
Yeah. It really does. And it's not just me who giggles at him over this stuff. He'll get the most boring, drab personal training clients or service people or whatnot. Fort Worth has them giggling and, just looking at me like, oh my gosh, I bet you deal with this all the time. And it's just, he completely turns people around all the time with this charisma and these silly kind of lines. So we're playing a little bit of a game tonight. Not that I haven't ever heard these lines before, because he will literally wake up in the middle of the night and have a line for me. One time he woke up and I was getting up to go to the restroom and he said, "What's up, fatty?" Out of a dead sleep. And that's an excuse. That's
we haven't
example.
been out that long either.
That's an example of a line that should not have worked. But I was just like, you talk a lot of shit. But so what we're going to do is he's going to kind of go through some lines. And I'm a little blind to them, in theory at least. So
that kind of throws off. We'll figure this out as we go along. Because sometimes it's a response to a question.
Yeah, but you're going to have to share what kind of thing that is.
Anytime a girl asks you, would you like to meet my parents? Or do you want to come to prom? Or I have a sorority function and you don't want to go.
Yeah.
You simply go, I'm on parole.
My parole officer won't let me.
Can't. My mom wouldn't approve. It's just stupid shit. And the girl forgets that she even asked you.
You've told me hundreds of times that your mother would not approve.
Oh, all the time. My mother would never approve of you. Just deadpan it, You can use this under any circumstances. I suffer from elephantitis of the penis.
That's awesome. And you just get this visual of this giant erect cock. You can't help but but look down at your crotch.
I don't remember when I used this, but I did use this on one girl. She was asking about something, and I think this was by text. And I said, I'm not saying I'm overly big, but my mom took me to the doctor when I was 7 because she was concerned. It's so stupid.
That's pretty good.
It's so stupid.
That's pretty good.
And you know, when you're in front of a girl, there's stuff that you can use. You know, like don't look, but all those girls are jealous that you're with me.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
it's good.
and girls will love that.
Yeah.
And they actually will. Girls will actually look around.
Yeah.
For evidence of that
Yeah.
and find it. Because
funny.
all you have to do is look around and people look at you.
They're looking at you because you're looking at them. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's
That's
a
funny.
win-win. That one actually is really good.
And flipping the script where you make her the pursuer.
Yeah.
And you know, this is one of those feminine, masculine things, and it messes with a lot of guys. They're like, I could never do that. But you know, just you take the position of she's chasing you and sexualizing you.
Well, like we tease our clients sometimes. You know, what do you do when you're not chasing boys?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a good line you can use in person and online.
Yeah.
You know,
I love it.
that's pretty funny.
And they always, oh God, and they swat at you.
Yeah. Or lately, I'm a Bitcoin millionaire, which means I'm really, really broke.
I'm a Bitcoin millionaire.
Does she always act like this? This is a good one that you can use, and this is classic. Does she always act like this when she's giving you shit in front of her friends or your friends?
Yes.
Does she always act like this? She's always like this?
It's pretty good. That's a good one.
My mom wouldn't approve of that. I mean, anytime a girl puts you on the spot, you can just always use your mom. You know, that's pretty funny. Or my mom has a pair of shoes just like that. And they go, what? And you go, my mom has great taste.
What do you say? My mom doesn't have great taste?
Exactly. When we talk about how we met, people always go, you know, how'd you guys meet? And I always go, I just wanted to go have a protein cookie, some warm milk, and go to bed early. But she was like, no. Stupid stuff.
Fort Worth always tells people we met in a strip club.
Sex club.
Sex club.
Or that I won her in a poker match.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I won
funny.
you in a poker match. I love that.
And I lost the bet.
You won me in a poker match and you lost. Yeah. That was the loser prize.
It's funny. I mean, especially if you've been around a girl for, you know, you're kind of getting to know her, and it's always good to just like pull her in close, get your lips next to her ear, and go, I faked all those orgasms. You know, just mess with their fucking head.
Exactly.
These are stupid shit that doesn't make any sense, but that gives you an idea of what you can do to just keep her offset.
The faking orgasms is always a fun line whenever you've also blown a load like on her face, you know.
I faked that.
I faked that.
That didn't really happen. But always make yourself out to be the one that's being pursued, and that she's lucky to be with you, and it'll be good for her.
And that you're fun. That you are like, and I don't mean, I mean, we say this all the time. We're not talking about you being the court jester or the class clown. Nope. We're talking about you amusing yourself and taking her along for the ride.
Self-amusement. Self-amused. There's a couple game principles at play here. Amuse mastery, where everything she does is funny and silly and like a child.
Yeah.
Self-amusement, which is where no matter what's going on, you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, I mean, a lot of girls, you know, especially once they've been around you, they don't want you to be happy. You know, so that's too bad. You're going to have a good time no matter what. And they'll get on board.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of this. And then, you know, when you're dealing with shit tests, you know, you agree and amplify or ignore, you know, or use a little bit of sarcasm. But agree and amplify is the most common one. And you get good at it, you know. And so there's no downside to having canned lines to dealing with chicks.
With all of this stuff.
Yeah.
With all of the kind of across the board generalized things that girls do on the regular.
And every time you use, I mean, especially for the guys, the first time they use it, and the girl's face kind of like, they kind of look a little shocked, and then they start smiling. You're like, oh, I just opened that door.
That just worked.
Yeah, exactly. It shocks men when they go, well, fuck. This actually works.
Yeah.
I can actually do A plus B and get C with these chicks.
Yeah.
It's really eye-opening. Again, damaged women will not respond. So, and it's not a bug, it's a feature. So not 100% of women will respond to game, and we always try to convey that.
Yeah.
You know, but 99% of them, and you'll get better at filtering women.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
But it's fun to test. It's fun to try it out. If it falls flat, you just keep plowing.
Yeah.
You know, no one cares. She doesn't remember. I mean, girls don't remember anything.
I mean, think of, and we used to like recommend that people even watch more comedy, like stand-up comedy and stuff. If a joke doesn't hit, you know, it out of the park, how do they respond? They make a joke out of the fact that the joke didn't hit.
Exactly.
And they go on.
They keep moving.
Yeah.
And one guy even like mentioned, you know, because I worked the door at a comedy club for like 2 years, and in the second year I realized how fucking fast it had made me. You know, mentally, you know, just being around it. You can get the same thing just like watching Comedy Central. Yeah. Or, you know, isn't there a Comedy Channel on?
Yeah, like stand-up comedy, though.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you can watch, like, Eddie Murphy stand-up. You can watch, you know, you probably won't get as much out of, like, sitcoms.
Right, that's what I'm saying, the stand-up stuff.
Watch the stand-up stuff and watch guys, you know, having to deal with an audience, and they'll roll with it. And this is what I know, too. Some nights they bombed. They'd had the same material, and they bombed.
Well, and one thing, if you're on the ground and wanting to like really like binge on some stand-up comedy, I would actually steer clear of like the Netflix specials kind of stuff, because that stuff has been tried and true and perfected over years by the time it gets in front of an audience for that kind of big event. Find nightclub stuff, find smaller venue stuff where they still are bringing out new stuff on occasion. Yeah. And then you actually see how it rolls when it doesn't hit.
Exactly. When something flops, it helps you, you know, it's all good. I mean, it does mess, you know, you learn, you absorb it over time. You learn how to do timing, and, you know, and there's nothing scientific. You're just like being around, it's just like being around a bunch of naturals that are good with women. Yeah. And you start absorbing what they do. You're like, oh shit, that works.
Well, and one thing that I always appreciate about you, and I relay back to your time watching comedy shows or stand-up, is that you will take the timing of something longer than most feel comfortable. Right. So that's where the humor is because you'll hold a look 2 ticks longer than anyone else would feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah, you got to be
comfortable. You know, you'll stretch that joke a step further than most would do it because they start getting uncomfortable themselves. They start making themselves uncomfortable instead of just like owning it and letting it stew a little bit.
And that's where your self-confidence has to come in.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, and it all pays off, and it's all unconscious, and it all works. Yeah. You know, so that's the use of lines. Yeah. And I do have in my dating system book. Yeah. 2, maybe 3 pages of nothing but lines. Yeah. You know. So good. So don't be shy about going out and finding lines. And I try to include a lot on Twitter. At least once a week. Yeah, you know, 4 or 5 lines.
Gary PUA is good about that too.
Exactly. Yeah. Because the girls, it's easier to find a new audience into new lines. You know what I mean?
Well, and there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. Use stuff that has worked for other people, and you can always throw out the stuff that doesn't work for you or that doesn't have any interest, you know, doesn't hold the interest with you. Perfect. We want you to win. If you like this, please like, subscribe, share, comment below. What are some of your favorite lines? What are some of the times that you've used them and they've worked?
And abused them.
Used and abused them. And thank you so much for joining us. We are having a great time, and we hope you are too. Bye!